Welcome to a new video, and this video is about why Fortnite just feels so different and why it's no longer playable for a lot of people. So let's start with the actual topic. I will say in advance that this video is more for the players who have been playing Fortnite for at least a year, because if you're a new player in Fortnite, for example, then most likely you will not understand the whole thing, but alright. So what does that mean now that Fortnite feels different? It's very difficult to explain, but I try it anyway. Fortnite is already around 2 years old, and in these 2 years, Fortnite has changed a lot. Much has turned to good, but also much to the bad. That's why Epic is currently being criticized and even hated by some players. There have been a lot of problems lately, but that's another topic. So many OG players have partially stopped with Fortnite and all that because of the changes of Fortnite. Even professional players complained that the fun of Fortnite has passed. Fortnite feels different for those people. It really affects many people, and it does not feel in a good way, but rather in the worse one. Fortnite does not give you the same feeling you used to get. But why is that so? There is no exact reason for that, but quite a lot of guesses. The first thing is because of the skins. It's good that Epic adds new and new skins into the game all the time, but at some point it's really not. In my opinion, Epic should take a break. At the old good days there were only a few skins in the game. There were a lot of default skins which are almost extinct today because of the free Season 8 Battle Pass. At the time, when you saw a Bright Bomber, you knew right away that is a hard thrower, or the same with the Red Knight, who returns every 20 days back into the shop and is anything but rare. You knew what every skin was called. You've just been in a squad with your friends and you knew that's a Bright Bomber, that's a Renegade Raider, that's a Black Knight, while now you hardly know the name of the skin because there is a bunch of them. If it interests you, we currently have over 350 skins in the game, which are just too many. In the past it was even fun to play with a default skin. There were a few skins in the game, and the game was still fun. The second thing are the weapons. In that 2 years, many weapons have been added in, have been taken out, improved, nerfed, and so on. In the past, the Golden Scar was the ultimate weapon everyone wanted. There was the old revolver, the submachine gun, the burst rifle, a light machine gun, or even a tactical SMG. Memories are awakening, right? Many will have noticed that something's missing on that list, and of course that's the good old OG pump gun. I will come back to that later so you have a better overview. The third thing is the map. The map has been changed bit by bit with every single season. There were only a few places that have been there since the beginning. Many places have been destroyed, replaced, and so on. The new players don't even know that such places existed at all. Who else knows Musty Mire, Anarchy Acres, Greasy Groove, Wailing Woods, Flash Factory, Risky Reels, the old Loot Lake, or the old Dusty Depot, not Dusty David? These places have become legendary. It's really hard to accept that they are gone now. The whole thing is just so sad. They wrote Fortnite's story with us. Too bad. It's pity. And now, Gilded and Ritter Row were destroyed at the end of Season 8. The list just goes on and on. All these places will remain us forever in our memories. Now, as promised, the OG pump. This is really such a weapon that is heartwarming to all players. Over the last 2 years, this is a weapon that has got the most patches. It's just sad to hear the story. Who does not want to get a sad flashback? Please spin to the time being displayed. 3, 2, 1, go. So at the beginning of Fortnite Battle Royale, the pump was added. The purpose of the game is to kill all others and to survive. But when you get into a fight, you should be able to eliminate your opponent as fast as possible so that he doesn't deduct your life or shield. And most of all, that he doesn't kill you. So the players have found a way to strike down the opponent within 1-2 seconds. With a headshot, you could even one-shot your opponent. The tactic was that, as the name implies, you have 2 pump guns in your inventory. You take one shot with one pump, quickly switch to the other, and so on. This bypassed the reload time. The double pump has been in the game for a long time. It was available in the Season 1, 2, 3, and in the Season 4, Epic Games has fixed the pump. So if you switch to the other pump, it still needs to reload. But the pump was still too strong. Although not as strong as before, but it was still strong. At the beginning of Season 5, the reload time of the pump was raised again, and an animation was inserted at the crosshair. Until the circle wasn't complete, you couldn't fire the pump again. That has made the pump a lot worse. But guess what? What was then the strongest pump? This pump was still very strong. In addition, you could use a few game bugs to make double pump work again. For example, shoot with pump, switch to shield potion and then switch to the next pump. There were many other ways to make double pump work, but after a week or two, all of them were patched by Epic, so it didn't make much sense to train and acquire them. So it went so on to Season 5, 6, 7, 8. Of course, there were also innumerable damage nerfs and so on. There were new tactics such as the combination pump and SMG, especially when the drum gun was added for the first time. The combination got too dangerous that it was removed again. Shortly before the end of Season 8, the drum gun came back into the game, but unchanged, as the majority of the foreign community wanted it to be. Now, the last days of Season 9 have arrived. The drum gun was nerfed, but still extremely strong. The pump was removed because that was the weapon with which you made by far the most kills. Instead, 2 new shotguns came in that you all already know. Let's be honest, pump and drum gun was an extremely dangerous combination. You fire the pump, change to the drum gun and spray your opponent in 0,0 seconds down. What I mean is that you used to be able to fight with a 4-man squad alone, but now you have no chance. The current pumps make too little damage and you need several shots to kill an opponent. So don't even talk about the whole squad. Now you cannot one-shot someone. Epic Games wanted to achieve that. They wanted to do it more fair. Of course, that's good, no one can one-shot someone from behind, but you have to put yourself in another situation. Imagine you're in a fight, killing your opponent, but he has already pulled you off a lot of life. So you start to heal. But suddenly another opponent come over who has been camping inside his bush and watching you all the time. And now he knows that you have no life and he can kill you easily. Now your chances are about 0% that you will win that fight, because you cannot peek fast and one-shot your opponent, and the HP bonus per kill was for some reason removed too. If you get into a fight where you have 10 HP and your opponent has 200 HP, then you can still hit him with the new pump guns as much as you can. He will strike you down anyway. He can even spray around with a gun and with a little bit of luck he will hit you. But is that fair now? You cannot do justice to Fortnite, everyone gets different loot for luck. So why doesn't Epic get along with that pump so much? There are some drawbacks for taking such an influential, even the most influential weapon out of the game. The game won't be more fair, so they could actually leave the double pump in the game. Of course it wasn't fair, but it made fun, and that's what counts in a game, right? All the pros who learned the double pumping in the past and could do that, for them it was so simple to kill their opponents and get the victory royale. Many people have learned and could do the double pumping, but Epic takes it out because the bad players who couldn't learn that complained at Epic Games all the time. The best season was just the Season 2, and a big part of it why this season is so popular and made so much fun. was the double pump. So another thing why Fortnite is not as fun as it used to be, and there will be a lot of people who are agreeing with me, it depends on the platform. But it's really extremely on PC. What do I mean by that? Just a question, how often did you have fun in a Fortnite round? During or after a fight? Just a little bit, is that right? The whole fights do not go in a relaxed way as in the old good days. 99% of all fights are so cramped. There are so many hard players which are specifying with their building editing skills. They have nothing better to do than doing with cramp their edit or the 3-fold 4-fold 90s all day. In addition, there are so many people playing on Stretched. Stretched has the advantage that you have a larger field of view. Stretched can anyone adjust on his PC and play with it. But there are some people who just want to play the normal Fortnite and have fun. And how should you have fun if you have to stare at a long fat character all the time? Cause you get the game advantage? It doesn't work. As I said, on other platforms except PC, it's just harmless. But Fortnite on PC became unplayable for people who play only a few hours a day. It's really, let's say, cramped, and it doesn't make fun. The bad players or players who want to play more relaxed are always playing the 50 against 50 modes or have switched to another platform. Something a little more crucial, where players think that that's the trigger. There is currently a lot of pressure in the Fortnite community. The community of Fortnite is split. It's nothing new. There is a competitive group. These are the people who are streamer, esporter, and also the people who play Fortnite many hours a day and want to compete with others, better known as tryharder. And then there is the other casual group of players. These are just normal new Fortnite players who play Fortnite a few hours a day, and let's just say these are the people who don't take Fortnite so seriously. So the opposite group, you know. In any case, the community has the feeling that Epic Games want to make it easier for both groups, to balance both parties, casual and competitive. Sometimes Epic prefers that group, sometimes the other, and it just keeps on going. Maybe they try to balance them all, we don't know. Anyway, what Epic is doing right now doesn't work. We see it doesn't work, so we need another plan. Epic has to choose between competitive and casual, because both in a game won't work permanently. It was generally Epic's mistake that they decided to make Fortnite a fun, great game, esport fit after 2 years. It doesn't match the game, and what doesn't fit to the game cannot work in the long run. So Fortnite collapses and we have no idea how to stop it. Alright, I hope that was now for the most part the most important reason why Fortnite is now unplayable for some people. Of course, it's not all Epic's fault. It's just this feeling. For example, about 1 year ago when you found a golden scar, you looked as pleased as if it was Christmas. You had taken screenshots and posted everywhere. So rare was this weapon. The one who had the golden scar at that time already had the victory royale in his hand. The same with the victory royale. At that time when you got the win, you jumped up and screamed with joy until the neighbors called the police for noise pollution. It was really a great time, and now, if you get the win, you're happy for a few seconds. And then you start the next round out of boredom, over and over again. The game used to make a lot of fun in the past. In the past, you could spend hours and hours with your friends in bushes, and it still made a lot of fun. Nowadays, no one can understand how sitting in a bush can make fun. The game had a few items and weapons back then. It was just easier, while we just have too much of everything now. Like weapons, skins, emotes and so on. It's just too much, and I mean really too much. It's getting even more and more. Epic gets even more and more stuff, and the game breaks apart. A better comparison, the game will eventually burst like a balloon inflated bigger and bigger. What's Epic's ulterior? As mentioned earlier, the beginning of Fortnite was the best time. The Season 1 was awesome. The Season 2 was legendary. Even though you didn't have many skins and items in the game, it was still fun to play. Fortnite has gained a great deal of hype because like no other game, they released a new update every 2 weeks with new skins, weapons or locations. That has led Fortnite to success. But somehow you have like a premonition like in a movie, that the constant updates lead to the end of Fortnite. That's kind of ironic. All the new weekly skins, new weapons, new items, new seasons, even those cannot save Fortnite from falling. The Google statistics of Fortnite. As you can see, Fortnite, one of the best games ever, is dying. Wherever it goes quickly up is the start of a new season or a new live event, and then it just starts to fall again. Can we somehow save Fortnite? Is there anything left to save? In my view, the Season 1 and 2 were legendary. Everything was fine. Season 3 and 4 were also great. Smaller changes, new skins. Let's count the Season 5 too. This season was so middle, I would say. Not much happened that season, but the Worlds Collide topic, and especially what Epic Games came up with, was really awesome. But well, the Season 5 wasn't a bad season. New map, skins, all this in summer style. But then, we got to the next season, the Season 6. From here you could feel right how the fun of Fortnite sank down slowly, especially in the Season 8. There, at least for me, was the fun of Fortnite in free fall. You didn't feel good about playing Fortnite anymore. Instead you thought, what happened to the game? With Season 9, Epic was able to restore a little bit of fun. But that's still nothing compared to the other seasons. It's for the most part that the constant playing led to it. If you play a game too often, then the game gets boring at some point. Let's compare it to Apex Legends. All the pros said that this game will wipe out Fortnite. And what happened? A few weeks later, Apex has given up the ghost. Let's compare Fortnite with Minecraft. Minecraft was also incredibly popular at the beginning. It was also one of the most popular games. Minecraft is currently gaining more hype. It's even on the way to almost overtaking Fortnite if Epic Games doesn't do something. The Season 10 might be the last chance to make things right, so please Epic Games don't screw it up. So as I said, it's for the most part that the constant playing led to it. If you play a game too often, then the game gets boring at some point. And right, that happened. But how can you be good at the game if you don't play so often and still want to keep up with such tryharder? Not at all. There is no other possibility. All those tryharder, they have already lost the fun at this game. As I said, the constant play gradually erases the fun of the game. That's exactly what happened. The current Fortnite feels like it's a different game, as if it were two different games. And the current Fortnite is certainly not that Fortnite would become worldwide known, which made so much fun, and what we all loved so much. So what do you think about that? Do you enjoy Fortnite as much as you used to, or are you the same opinion? I hope this video was detailed enough why Fortnite feels different. Hope you enjoyed it and see you next time. Bye.